We have to say frankly that the infrastructure project in China is very important, especially in the past 4 decades that the infrastructure economy has contributed a great deal in Chinese modernization, especially for the water-related project. It's quite a lifeline for China's further development. As we know, and also we have already suggested to the government that beside food security or food crisis, the next challenging is the water supply. That's why the world economy and also many countries are trying to put more attention and efforts to have the water-related project. China is a huge country with a huge population. The water supply and the water security is more important than anything else. So that's why I think that China has already increased at least 18% more investment in the infrastructure, including water-related projects. This is very critical for China's future, even for the normal people's life. So this is a very important project. Of course, besides this environmental improvement and also the infrastructure project can also create more jobs and improving the living standard of the people there. So all this is quite an important factor to affect our economy in general. But the mainly is that this is a project regarding our national security. It's a lifeline of our future.
Right. In some less developed region, China is using infrastructure investment to create jobs and improve the local environment. How effective is the move?
This effectiveness is quite great. Many people living in the less developed or poor areas, when they heard the news that a new railway or new project will be started in the region, they will be happy like a festival. Many people celebrate, and because they have more jobs, more opportunity to have exchange of goods and products with outside. And especially in China, we have a very people-centered, people-oriented policy that all this railway project or infrastructure project always try to benefit those less developed areas. This is the purpose. For those modernized cities or the urban areas, I think the need is not so urgent. But for those poor areas, the less developed, it's very important to develop this infrastructure, especially for railway transportation. And of course, they can make many jobs among the people. And the other thing is that many people can learn many new things from outside by this infrastructure construction, from the information exchange and other knowledge. They can get skilled training by this project. So by doing so, I think the less developed countries or areas regions in China with the infrastructure construction, they can be well developed in a short time. This is the best way to realize our common prosperity purpose.
Mr. Liu, I think it's fair to say that infrastructure is needed around the world, but many countries around the world are finding it difficult to build infrastructure in terms of funding. For example, the United States, land rights, for example, India, and technology, Africa. What advantages does China have in building infrastructure?
Besides what you have mentioned, I think China has already covered all these 3 shortcomings or the short supplies from land supply, from fund supply, or even from technology supply, because China can cover all these 3 challenges. But another thing I have to add that besides these 3 factors, China has its own advantage that China has adequate skilled workers, because without the skilled, hard-working workers, all plan, all purpose, all the project cannot be realized within a limitation of the time. So this is China's really the strength, the advantage that China rely on, because the skilled workers and engineers in China, we have millions of such people for each project. So that's why that China has its own advantage. The other advantage is that China will build up or already built up a unified market. Unified market means that we have unified policy. we have a unified efforts. That's why we can take over all these challenges and overcome them and make all our purpose realized in a short time.
Thank you so much for insights. Quite inspiring.